Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please stand for the entrance of His Excellency, Sir Rodney Williams, Governor General of Antigua and Barbuda. Please remain standing for the national anthem, which will be presented by Manny Gomes, followed by prayer by Miss Aisha McLeod.
Dear God, thank you for bringing us together to recognize the hard work and dedication of this year's award recipients. As we honor each name, help us to remember all glory belongs to you. Thank you for the friends and family who came to support and encourage these individuals. Thank you for the generosity of our sponsors for today's event. Without their love and support, this day would not be possible. Colossians 3:23 says, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord." As we observe the many accomplishments of our awardees, we acknowledge that none of it would be possible without you. Help us always to remember to do everything with a grateful heart and to keep our focus on you. Gracious God, we, the members and supporters of the National PTA of Antigua and Barbuda, say thank you for the gift of our mind and the practice of all virtue. Fill up in us whatever is lacking. Remove from us any sloth or indifference, and increase our desire to become heroic in your sight. Grant us your favor always, as we claim it now, that the proceedings this evening will be for your honor and glory. We ask this in your holy name. Amen.
Please be seated. She is a 15-year-old fifth form student at the Princess Margaret School, currently preparing for CXCs. She's a singer from the age of 2 years old and a dancer since age 4. A self-motivator, which makes it easy for her to motivate others, especially her peers. A younger sister of 1 and also an older sister of 1. She has a passion for the arts and hopes to pursue her dream of owning and operating her own center, focusing on teaching the arts in Antigua to all, but mostly to the underprivileged students after attending the Edna Manley School of Performing Arts in Jamaica. She was the first Antigua Got Talent winner in 2019 at age 11, being the youngest participant, a pageant junkie, winner of the Seaview Farm Primary School Parent and Child Pageant 2017, Miss Sunnydale 2018, first runner-up Optimist Petite 2019, Miss Princess Margaret Black Icons 2023. She represented Antigua at the Haynes Smith Caribbean Talented Teen in 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me to welcome your hostess for this evening, the reigning Miss Teenage 2023, the first female contestant to win all 5 judge segments, along with the Leadership Award, creating history, Miss Ajane Blow.
H. Jackson Jr. says, and I quote, "Don't work for recognition, but do worthy of recognition." The measure of achievement is not winning awards. It's doing something that you appreciate, something that you believe is worthwhile, and something will enhance not only yourself, but others.
His Excellency Sir Rodney Williams, Governor General of Antigua and Barbuda, Mr. Alistair Thomas, President and founding member of the National Parent Teachers Association, members of the National Parent Teachers Association, honorees, principals, teachers, parents, students, invited guests, well-wishers, good evening.
Welcome to the National Parent Teachers Association First Award Ceremony designed to honor our nation's teachers, students, and parents. I am your reigning Miss Teenage 2023, Ajane Blue. And we are honored to be your hosts this evening. What's your name?
My name is Alphonsine Lake, proud mother of this beauty here. To start this evening proceedings, join me in welcoming Mr. Alistair Thomas, President of the National Parent Teachers Association, to deliver the welcome remarks.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Let me observe the presence of His Excellency, Sir Rodney Williams, and all other distinguished and esteemed guests, parents, mothers, fathers, and children, and awardees. It is a very important event for the National Parent Teachers Association. It is historic. It is momentous. We, in the National Parent Teachers Association, over the years, had this idea that there is the need for an occasion that we can acknowledge teachers, parents, and students. We tossed with the idea for years. But I believe what drove us to eventually initiate this event is after COVID. We recognized that the family, and when I say family in this context, I'm speaking of the family in education, parents, teachers, and students, that the COVID virus had a tremendous impact on our society, unknown, unprecedented. And so the society was stressed. Our teachers were never more stressed, more challenged, yet they rose to the occasion, in most cases, innovatively. They never had a template. They never had an experience of how to handle a pandemic. Yet, their dedication, their love, their commitment to education, to the students, is beyond words of how much they love the profession and education. So they rose to the occasion, not knowing how and where to start, but they started. And one thing they knew, collectively, that is, our children, their students, their education, notwithstanding COVID, was going to continue. And these dedicated and committed professionals set about, without a template, without any knowledge of how to handle education, how to continue education, or giving education to our students. They innovatively, because of their commitment, decided to become technicians, IT experts, where 95% of them were not being exposed to IT, information technology, but they recognize in order to continue education virtually, they had to buckle down with the technology, and they did so. I'd like to say to you to give a resounding applause to all our teachers. And if I must say, without fear of bias, that I've always said, and I feel so deeply in my heart, that there is no profession greater than the teaching profession. All professions are important in a society. It makes a society whole. Sanitation worker, whoever he or she is in whatever profession. But the only profession beside the parent that provide education and the foundation of every other profession is the teacher. We have a governor in our presence, the Governor General, but he was taught by his mother, who was a teacher, and he became a doctor. So that every profession, every career, the foundation and the base of it is our teachers. So we felt in the National PTA that looking at the challenge before the COVID, but during the COVID, it magnified it, that we had to do something in acknowledging, in recognizing not just a part of the family, but all of the family. Because there was never an occasion before where in the same place, on the same occasion, the whole was celebrated. That is the parent, the teachers, and the student. And so together, we huddled about it in the National PTA and said, you know what? Let's launch something unique. Let's launch a recognition of our parents who also, during the career of their children, they have had the experience to deal with all the challenges and difficulties. And I must say, being in my position, this period of our history is more difficult than when we were young. And so, for parenting, for teachers, and for students, is the most challenging time because of peer pressure at school, the bullying, the challenge of deviant behavior, the challenges of drug abuse, and for our children to be challenged like we never were challenged. And so many are doing so well, notwithstanding some of the deviant behavior. We in the National Parent Teachers Association felt there should be an occasion, a national occasion, of which we begin somewhere. We promise you that next year going to be grander, to establish an annual event in which we identify outstanding, not exceptional, but outstanding teachers, students who would have been acknowledged by their peers, by their school, by their teachers, by the students themselves. They too would have had an input. And so it was pretty challenging to come up with a format. How do we recognize? It's not that those who will be honored this evening, we are saying that the best parents, the best teacher, or the best student. We had to come up with a formula. But it was not so much about awarding. It was more about recognizing, celebrating, and saying to our teachers, to our parents, to our students, you are the important foundation of our society. Without you, we would have been in a primitive time. And so I say to you this evening, this occasion, it's the launch. It's the first of its kind. I don't know how many more Caribbean islands. But we promise you that this is just an appetizer. And I want to thank the hard-working committee, and they will name them out this evening, that sat together for weeks and months, I'd say years first, but after the COVID, we were convinced we had to do something in these challenging times to bring our teachers, parents, and students recognition that we are a whole. And if we are going to have a balanced society, a society that all of us are proud of, we have to work together as a team, as a family. And so our focus this evening is not just to award an outstanding parent. No, it's about recognizing parents generally, recognizing teachers generally, recognizing students and saying to them, we in the National Parent Teachers Association recognize your importance in a society, and without you, there is no society. And we are honored, and I am honored as a president, to say to all the awardees, to the hardworking committee, that it is our honor and privilege to celebrate you. I would want to say in grand style, but in the style in which the National PTA is saying thanks, and to say to the young people, you are the leaders of tomorrow. There are challenges, negative challenges. Do not be distracted. We all at some time, as children, as students, were being challenged. But we recognize that to be somebody, you had to take the right path. And I am saying to you on behalf of the National PTA, we are satisfied that we have many more great men and women in the students. You are our future leaders. And again, to the parents, thank you. Let's work closer together in every school, in every environment that we can help our children. And to our teachers, I say to you, you have made our society what it is. And we are going to extend this program. We are going to negotiate with the hotels, and I'm sure the Governor General and others will help, that we are convinced that staycation should be a serious part of saying to the teachers thanks with very little cost. It is one of the most stressful professions of all professions. I will close by just saying this. The teachers are counselors. They are parents. They are your doctors. They are advisors. And so we need to do all that we can. And we in the National PTA has only launched this occasion, but we promise you we are not going to leave any stone unturned to see in what area, whichever area is possible, to assist in wherever we can, our students, our parents, and our teachers. I thank you all, and again, enjoy an evening. On behalf of the National PTA, we thank you for this evening, and it's our honor and our privilege to be the persons and the organization that has established this first parent-teacher student national award of Antigua and Barbuda. Thank you very much, and have a good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas, and I will piggyback and say teachers are ATMs, because we have a lot of children that go to school hungry, and teachers provide. Sometimes teachers hungry too, but teachers provide. So teachers are ATM, teachers are nurses, teachers are best friend, because you have a student that a child picking and they go to the teacher so teachers are mothers and fathers to our children, and we need to give more respect. As parents, we need to give more respect to the teachers, because they're who our children see most times in the day.
At this time, I am very pleased to invite His Excellency Sir Rodney Williams, Governor General of Antigua and Barbuda, to give congratulatory remarks.
Thank you. I can only go by what I thought I saw this afternoon. I think I saw Senator Jonathan Joseph coming in, and I think I saw the chairperson of the hospital board, Celeste Bird Medical Center board. But I want to also recognize the president and executive members of the National Parent Teachers Association, its president, Mr. Alistair Thomas, who just spoke to you, the honorees of this inaugural National Parent Teachers Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is for me a great pleasure to join you all this evening at this inaugural award ceremony for the National Parent Teachers Association here in Antigua and Barbuda. I extend my heartfelt congratulations to all the winners, the nominees, and the dedicated members of this association. Having served 2 stints as Minister of Education, I recall back in the 1990s my efforts in promoting a policy that each school should establish a parent-teachers association. And I remember the many meetings we had in various schools. And I remember some faces also who were at those meetings, including your president. And I remember Dr. Rollins. And he always came with a lot of questions. And it was rather interesting. But this was done because education is such an important cornerstone in the building of any nation, and the education of our children should not be left to our teachers alone. Research clearly supports the need for parents, community-based organizations, churches to be involved in education if we are to provide our children with a well-rounded learning experience so that they can face the challenges of their time. Another initiative which was introduced under my tenure, that was in 2002, was Education Week. And this is something I found out in Jamaica. I used to be a member of the University Council. And I remember that afternoon I went home from the meeting. I was staying at the Pegasus Hotel. And I went in the shower, had a bath. And then as I was coming out of the shower, I heard the man on the television saying, "Now we're going to ask Miss Stephanie Burke to come and tell us all about Education Week." So I just wrapped the towel around myself and I sat down and listened attentively. And what she said about Education Week interested me. And I brought this Education Week to Antigua and Barbuda by copying what I saw in Jamaica. And Education Week was done to provide an open door for parents and other stakeholders to become more involved in what was going on in our schools and to recognize the contribution of our teachers. This has now been extended to Education Month. And I do not know, but no one has told me that the education administrators must have recognized that not only is education an important aspect of our lives, but that it requires more than a week to bring the other aspects of the sector into the focus and the minds of our citizens and residents. We need to continue to do more to educate and inform our populace on the relevance and importance of education and to show how the various facets of our education system are interrelated. The other thing I'll tell you was the fact that when we introduced Education Week, at that time the Teachers Association was not honoring teachers, and that was when we started honoring teachers, when we introduced Education Week. We had a dinner, an award ceremony, something similar to what you're having here this evening. I also saw the need to level the playing field and to give every child, regardless of his or her economic or social circumstances, the opportunity to have access to quality education, to include resources such as textbooks, furniture, equipment, and scholarships to pursue higher studies. From its inception and to date, at least 150 students benefit from an annual bursary offered by the Board of Education to pursue post-secondary education to a first degree and higher. And that's something you should clap for. Educators, that is teachers, are also provided with funding to pursue higher studies. And tonight, I want to set the record straight by stating unequivocally that I was the minister who introduced the Board of Education Act number 11 of 1994. And if there is any doubt about that, one can always confirm my statement by checking the Hansard records of Parliament during that time period. It was the mighty Sparrow in his Calypso on Education who sent a message to the children of the Caribbean saying, children go to school well, children go to school and learn well. Otherwise, later on in life, you're going to catch real hell. Without an education in your head, your whole life will be in misery and you're better off dead. And he said, don't allow idle company to lead you astray. To earn tomorrow, you've got to learn today. And that is an outstanding Calypso. And when I heard it, I have never forgotten it to this day. And something Alistair did not tell you, that I was a teacher at the grammar school, the Antigua Grammar School, because I could not quite make up my mind what profession I would take. And so I thought I would teach for a while until I made up my mind. And once I made up my mind, then I went off and did medicine, and I have no regrets at all about that. I want to acknowledge the dedication of your president of the National Parent Teachers Association and all those persons, because he was a founding member of this organization. Sir, your leadership and commitment have been instrumental in shaping this organization into a beacon of support and advocacy for parents, teachers, and students across our nation. I also wish to commend other dedicated members of this association who exemplify that spirit of commitment and service that defines the National Parent Teachers Association. The continued involvement of many of you, even after your children have graduated from school, is truly admirable and speaks volumes about your unwavering commitment towards the development of our education system. It is my understanding that one of the key objectives of the National PTA is to encourage parents to be actively involved in their parents' education beyond mere attendance at special occasions. It is through initiatives like today's award ceremony that we celebrate and recognize the outstanding contributions of parents, teachers, and students who embody excellence, dedication, and a commitment to educational advancement. I want to commend the organizing committee, the sponsors, the judging panel for their hard work and dedication in making this award ceremony possible. It is my understanding that the response from schools and sponsors has been encouraging, underscoring the importance of recognizing and celebrating excellence within our education system. To all the winners of today's awards, I extend my heartfelt congratulations. Your dedication, passion, and commitment to excellence serve as an inspiration to all of us. May this recognition fuel your continued efforts in shaping a brighter future for our children and our nation. In closing, I reaffirm my support for the mission of the National Parent Teachers Association to empower parents, teachers, and students, since we share common goals for education excellence. Let us continue to work together as we strive for a brighter and more prosperous future for our children and for Antigua and Barbuda. Thank you very much.
Thank you, His Excellency Sir Rodney Williams. As a past Minister of Education, you are one of the founding blocks our children are building their staircase to excellence from. So once again, thank you. We will now break for some entertainment and we will invite Laco Samuel and Gavin Christopher to render a selection.
At this time, I would like to make recognition of the Ambassador to Cuba, His Excellency Sergio George Pastrana, hope I called it correctly, and his First Lady. Also in our presence is President of the Antigua and Barbuda Union of Teachers, Cosroy Charles, along with Senator Jonathan Joseph. We have three principals in our midst this evening. Mr. Roberts from the Otters Comprehensive School. We have principal of the St. Joseph's Academy. Your name's slipping me, I don't know why. Mr. Rudolph Davis, and our engineer is Mr. Roberts from the T.N. Kernan Primary School.
The test of a good teacher is not how many questions he or she can ask his pupils that they will answer readily, but how many questions he inspires them to ask him and that he finds it hard to answer. A good teacher inspires hope, ignites the imagination, and instills love through teaching. A good teacher makes learning fun.
Mrs. Royda Hamilton Gravesand is a classroom teacher at the Seventh-day Adventist Primary School for over 8 years and has been teaching for more than 27 years. She's a trained teacher and holds a bachelor's degree in education. Royda is a Guyanese by birth, married and has 3 beautiful daughters. She loves children and believes that teaching is a special gift from God. Mrs. Gravesand is a member of the St. John Seventh-day Adventist Church and has taken an active role in the Adventurer Club. As a teacher, she realizes that students do not care how much you know until they know how much you care. Her philosophy is found in Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. She's pleased and humbled to be selected for this auspicious award. Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Royda Hamilton Gravesand of the Seventh-day Adventist Primary School.
At this time, I will invite His Excellency Sir Rodney Williams to present the Teachers' Awards. So we don't have to do these. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time is here. It's award time. Put your hands together and help me welcome our first recipient for this year's Teachers Award from the Seventh-day Adventist Primary School, Mrs. Royda Gravesand. Mrs. Gravesand.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Gravesand receives a gift certificate from Townhouse Megastore, along with her plaque and some cider and her certificate.
Mrs. Leandra Lecointe Tittle hails from the nature island of Dominica, and she has been a teacher for just over 15 years. She has taught across both the primary and the secondary school systems. Leandra is married to one of Antigua's finest gentlemen, Mr. Cornell Tittle, and together they are parents to 4 daughters. She did not initially set out to be a teacher, as her earliest training was in accounting. However, she quickly discovered that she did not derive satisfaction from performing these tasks. Leandra subsequently got introduced to the teaching profession, and there she found her passion for young people. Leandra has remained steadfast and committed to this calling, and she currently serves as a senior language arts and office administration teacher at the Antigua Seventh-day Adventist Secondary School. Throughout her teaching career, she has been the epitome of excellence. Her classes are not only a space for instruction, but they allow students to grow, explore, and become empowered. With her genuine caring, patience, and kindness, she cultivates a classroom where each student feels valued and supported. In her spare time, Leandra enjoys reading, going to the beach, and spending time with her family. She's a fun-loving, genuine individual with a warm personality, bringing joy wherever she goes. Among her colleagues, she's known as a helpful, diligent, supportive, consistent, and pleasant. The SDA Secondary School is a better place as a result of the influence of Mrs. Leandra Tittle. Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Leandra Tittle from the Seventh-day Adventist Secondary School.
Let's welcome our second Teacher of the Year, Mrs. Leandra Tittle, to receive her award.
And Mrs. Tittle receives a gift basket from Crab Hole Liquors, along with the usual plaque, cider, and certificate.
Miss Marian Cherise Nathan was born on November 4th, 1988, to parents John and Christiana Nathan. She was the second of 6 children born to Mr. and Mrs. Nathan. Miss Nathan began her formal education at Green Bay Primary School and then completed her grade 6 class at Pickett's Primary School. She was then awarded a scholarship to the Princess Margaret School, where she completed 5 years of secondary education. Miss Nathan then went on to her teaching career fresh out of high school at the tender age of 18. Teaching was not only what she loved to do, but was the fabric of her very existence early in life. In 2013, Miss Nathan was enrolled in the Department of Teacher Education, where she studied education. In 2015, she graduated with high honors from the Associate Degree Program with a GPA of 3.9. Ms. Nathan returned to the classroom eager to implement best practices, learned and worked earnestly to perfect her craft in every way possible. During her career, Ms. Nathan was awarded the T.N. Kernan School Most Outstanding Untrained Teacher in 2014, Cedar Grove Primary School Teacher of the Year 2022-2023 school year, and holds a third place position for Zone 4 Teacher of the Year 2023. She is also one of 2 representatives chosen to represent Antigua and Barbuda in the writing of the OECS Integrated Kindergarten Curriculum. Marion Nathan is the biological mother of 2 boys, Raheem Henry, age 15, and Keem Henry, age 8. She also prides herself on being seen as a mother of many students whose lives she would have impacted. To date, Ms. Nathan has given 17 years to the teaching profession. Teaching is in her DNA, and the love and adoration of her young children keeps her fresh, young, and vibrant. As a kindergarten teacher, Ms. Nathan ensures to build connections to the world around as she lays the academic foundation for future leaders. She ensures not only to teach academics, but the importance of being good humans and citizens. As such, Ms. Nathan started the Kindergarten Care program with her kindergartners as a means of giving back to our community. Students, parents, and teachers donate items which are packaged and distributed to the less fortunate. Ms. Nathan believes that we ought to be the change we wish to see. So teaching life skills to promote empathy, sympathy, love, and philanthropy, worked hold a special place in her heart. Finally, one can be sure to hear Miss Nathan says that teaching is her superpower, as teachers are indeed superheroes.
Ms. Nathan receives a gift certificate from Wellness Footprints Antigua.
Miss Shanice Luby is a dedicated teacher originating from the picturesque Twin Island state of Antigua and Barbuda. From the tender age of 5, Miss Luby attended the St. John's Catholic Primary School, where she first garnered recognition for stellar academic achievement. Her successes only continued as she became a CXC Gold Awardee upon graduation from the Christ the King High School. Miss Luby then furthered her study at the Antigua State College, attaining her diploma in modern languages with honors, as well as Cape Associate's degree in modern languages. She then continued her study at the Midwestern State University, where she was listed on the President's Honor Roll and obtained her first undergraduate degree. Her educational journey did not end there, as she proceeded to enroll at the UWI Five Islands campus. Soon after, she attained a postgraduate diploma in secondary education with distinction. Despite her strong academic background, Ms. Luby is also humanitarian and passionate about dance and languages. As the current lead teacher of modern languages, she has been instrumental in implementing Mandarin program at Glanville Secondary School. She also maintains a great rapport with her students. At every major event, she may be found choreographing dancing to showcase her students' talents. Additionally, she often spends her free period shuffling between administrative duties, advocating for students' well-being, planning for various school-related committees, and assisting Hispanic students to acquire or improve their English language skills. Ms. Luby's biography is a true testimony of her philosophy in life: never stop learning, because life never stops teaching. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Shanice Luby of Glanville's Secondary.
And our final recipient in the Teachers Award category is Ms. Shanice Luby of the Glanville Secondary School. Thank you, His Excellency Sir Rodney Williams, for presenting the awards to the awardees, and congratulations to Mrs. Royda Gravesand, Mrs. Leandra Tittle, Miss Marian Nathan, and Miss Shanice Luby on their awards.
And we're going to invite our panelist, Amani Gomes, to render us a second rendition. Thank you, Mr. Gomes, for two beautiful renditions, first the national anthem and the piece just now. It is easy for a student to pick a good teacher, but extremely difficult for a teacher to pick a good student. Being a good student is a sign of intelligence, but without commitment, dedication, and a strong desire to learn, intelligence is of no use. A good student learns from his teacher, but a great student learns to teach him or herself.
Let's welcome our student awardees, but before we do so, we invite Mr. Casroy Charles, President of the Antigua and Barbuda Teachers Association, to present our awardees with their awards.
Jordan Dominic West is an 11-year-old fun-loving and energetic grade 6 student from the Seventh-day Adventist Primary School. He was born on 5th day of September 2012. He lives with his parents and sisters in the beautiful and breezy countryside in the south of Antigua. Throughout his school life, Jordan has always been a diligent and hard worker. He was the valedictorian of his preschool graduating class, the Early Learners Childhood Development Center. Thereafter, from kindergarten to grade 6, Jordan has been on the principal's list each and every term of his primary school life. His favorite subject is mathematics. Jordan has been the spelling bee winner for his grade for each year of primary school. In grade 3, he was the overall winner of the lower school section, and in grade 5 and 6, he was the overall winner for the entire primary school section. In grade 6, Jordan was appointed as head boy of the school, and he assists on a daily basis with ensuring that in the absence of any teacher, there is order among students. Jordan attends church every Saturday, and he's an active member of the Pathfinder Club. As part of his extracurricular activities, Jordan attends karate classes and tennis lessons. He is a yellow belt in the Purple Dragon Karate system. Jordan also attends violin classes and has successfully completed his grade 2 exams with the University of West London College of Music examinations. Jordan is very pleased to have been selected as Student of the Year by the National Parent Teachers Association. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Jordan Dominic West of the Seventh-day Adventist Primary School.
We have a representative. Come back, West, come back. We have a representative from the People's Credit Union to make a presentation to our student awardees. Oh, it's a Kickstart fund of $150.
Jordan West also receives a gift certificate from Harper's. And Jordan and his parents, Mr. Loy West is your dad? Okay, Loy West went to school with me, so that's why I asked. I apologize for the photo. The picture that you sent was large. And so being a teacher myself, I had to do some critical thinking. So this morning, I woke up very early, took a picture of his face among the trees and all the shrubbery, and then stopped it in. And I will also say, in this National Parent Teachers Association, just like how you see our host and her daughter, my daughter was the one that did the slides.
Uchenna Ohebelam began St. Joseph's Academy in 2019 after successfully passing the entrance exam when he was just in grade 5 at the young age of 10. Since in Form 1, Uchenna has always shown a good aptitude for academic work and has performed very well, having attained many honors, merit, and testimonial certificates throughout his attendance at the academy. He has consistently remained the top 5 student in his form, his most recent ranking being second. Uchenna is actually one of our most outstanding students in the food, nutrition and health, and was also selected by the faculty as prefect due to his involvement and leadership qualities. In May and June of this year, Uchenna will be sitting 24 CSEC subjects to propel on his career path. Like his brother and others before him, Uchenna also hopes to emerge as the winner as the island's top CSEC student. Outside of the academic frame Uchenna's life, he is represented SJA in the Inter-School Debating Series and awarded Best Speaker in one of his encounters. Moreover, he emerged first runner-up in his first attempt and winner during his second year as a competitor in the Optimist Oratorical Contest, remaining true to his exceptional public speaking and people skills. He was also first runner-up in the inaugural SJA Gentleman of Quality. This year, Uchenna will represent St. Joseph's Academy at the Mr. and Miss Teenage Pageant. To remain balanced, he remains active on the soccer field as an experienced goalkeeper and also represented the Academy and the National Inter-Schools Track and Field Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, Uchenna Ohebulam of the St. Joseph's Academy.
Okay, so once again, he receives a voucher for a startup account at the People's Cooperative Credit Union and also a gift certificate from A.J. Morgan. And I realize that that gift seems to be well placed because you're well dapper this evening.
Ashley Olivia Zenobia Durand was born on 25th April 2012. Ashley began learning early as she would come home from her sitter counting and saying her alphabet. In September 2014, she joined the New Adventure Preschool and Nursery. She spent 3 years of learning through song and practical activities. Ashley, from a young age, enjoyed writing, and many manila papers had to be placed on doors to discourage her from writing on the walls. Ashley's primary school journey began at the Cubs Course Primary School on September of 2017. She was keen on completing homework then and even still so today. Ashley over the years has worked hard to maintain an A+ average. Ashley also takes part in extracurricular activities as she was a member of the school's female basketball team. She was also the captain of the school's national spellbound team and president of the Student Council of Executive Members. In addition, she's an active member of her church, where she sings on the junior choir and is willing to complete any other duty asked of her. Ashley is a student of the High Heights Learning School of Music, where she is learning to play the piano. Ashley enjoys watching YouTube videos about cosmetology, especially about hair preparation, braiding, and makeup artistry. She often practices her braiding skills on her mother and grandmother. Ashley's future endeavor is to become a cosmetologist, where she will not only be an expert in the field, but also create her own hair and makeup product line, which will be sold locally and internationally. Ashley's favorite motivational scripture comes from Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Her favorite quote is nothing is impossible. The word itself says I am possible by Audrey Hepburn. Ladies and gentlemen, Ashley Olivia Zenobia Durand of Copscross Primary School.
Again, Ashley receives the voucher for the startup account at the People's Cooperative Credit Union and also a gift certificate from Harper's.
Miss Torianne Camilla Davis of John Hughes Village was born on the 26th day of January 2007 to Santasha Julia Joseph and Mark Philip Davis. Torianne attended the Buckley's Primary School where she graduated as the salutatorian and is presently enrolled at the Irene B. Williams Secondary School in the village of Sweets. During her 5 years at the institution, she has consistently attained academic excellence, which has caused her to be the recipient of many accolades. Ms. Davis is a model student who has represented her school on numerous occasions. Presently, she's a fifth form student that holds the position as a student leader and is the head girl for the current academic year. Upon completing her CXC examinations, she intends to further her tertiary studies in the field of accounting and finance. Ms. Davis lives by the mantra, successful people are not gifted, they just work hard, then succeed on purpose. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Miss Torianne Camilla Davis of the Irene B. Williams Secondary School. Miss Torianne Camilla Davis of John Hughes Village was born on the 26th. Miss Torianne Camilla.
Once again, Torianne receives a voucher for a startup account to the People's Cooperative Credit Union and also a gift certificate from Glam Lounge.
We say thank you to Mr. Charles, President of the Antigua and Barbuda Teachers Association, and the representative from the People's Cooperative Credit Union, Mr. Paul Ryan, for his timely contribution. Mr. Ryan would like each student to know that to redeem or to open this account, you need to go into the branch, which is on Newgate Street, with a parent and an ID. You take the flyer that was placed in the envelope. Your name is already there at the credit union, so they are expecting you. I also would like to make mention of our platinum sponsors, which are Julie's, of course, for the venue, People's Cooperative Credit Union, and SignPro.
Many people believe parenting is about controlling children's behavior and training them to act like adults. However, it is my belief that parenting is about controlling one's own behavior and acting in a manner a child would emulate because children live what they learn. It is also my belief and my personal experience with my parents that behind of every good student are parents who believed in them first. Without strong parental support, a good student is a mediocre student.
At this time, we ask our president, Mr. Alistair Thomas, to make the presentation to the parents.
Asata Roberts has been an educator for more than 17 years and has spent most of her time in the secondary school education system, where she taught English A and B at the upper school level. She has also facilitated classes at the tertiary institutions and is now an education administrator at the Antigua and Barbuda International Institute of Technology. She loves reading and cooking. Asata, who is married, is the mother of a 10-year-old child, Evan Roberts, and believes that to raise a child in today's world takes a combination of old school grit, modern day smart, and keeping God at the center. She believes that for children to develop well and become successful, every facet of their being must be catered to: the physical, psychological, social, and the spiritual. Hence, parental involvement is integral when molding children and requires sacrifice on behalf of parents. Asata is honored to have been nominated and selected as parent for this award and is committed to continuing her role as an involved parent who supports her son, the SDA school, and the wider community. Asata Roberts for Parent of the Year.
Unfortunately, Mrs. Asata Roberts was unable to make it, but her award will be collected on her behalf by the principal of the Seventh-day Adventist Primary School.
And our 3 female parents will receive a voucher from Velvet Touch, and our male parent receives a gift certificate from Townhouse Megastore.
Mr. Lemuel Roberts is a surveyor by profession and a friend of St. Joseph's Academy for over 15 years. He's the father of 3 sons, 2 of whom attended and graduated from the academy, and the third is currently a student. His involvement with the school truly solidified Mr. Roberts' commitment to development and enhancement of the school. Mr. Roberts always made it his duty to promote the school and its ideals to the many people who he interacted with on a daily basis. His talking point is always that his sons entered as young boys and graduated as young, respectable, and more mature young men. From the very first day that his first son walked the halls of the academy, he got up and running and becoming a member of the SJA Parents Association. There was never a task too small or too big for him to get the job done. For this academic year, he sold a record 50 raffle books for our pre-Christmas fundraiser to help raise monies for the purchase of steel pans and the new set of track and field uniforms. He also threw his support behind this year's Valentine's fundraising lunch and bake sale. For annual St. Joseph's Day fundraising lunch, he was able to sell 60 lunch tickets. Additionally, he solicited over $500 worth of ingredients towards the preparing the meals. Mr. Roberts also took on the responsibility of mobilization. He coordinated the collection of food from the various caterers and delivered them to the campus. One other notable point is that he used his network to solidify sponsorship to purchase a new set of steel pans for St. Joseph's Academy's Rhythm Masters. This was great achievement for him and the school. There was never an event or occasion that Mr. Roberts passed up the opportunity to be at the school, even though he had a tight schedule. You can see him during the spring at our annual sports day supporting his son, collecting him from after school homework program, or just interacting with teachers who just happen to still be at the school. One could say that Mr. Lemuel Roberts is a man for all seasons, a parent for all academic terms at St. Joseph's Academy, and we appreciate every level of his contribution. Carissa Henry is a room division coordinator of one of Antigua's premier properties. Over the years, she's honed her skills and education to excel in her career, achieving a degree in resort management and multiple certifications in hotel hospitality and tourism. Her passion for delivering excellence in hospitality drives her to train, implement, and coordinate standards that ensure every guest experience surpasses expectations. Beyond her professional pursuit, she is the proud mother of an extraordinary young boy who is on the autism spectrum. Her journey with him extends beyond caregiving. It's about nurturing, teaching, and understanding. She finds immense joy in guiding him through his path, particularly in teaching him to read and discover the wonders of the world. Inspired by her son's special development, she is pursuing studies in special education with a focus on physiology. This achievement, which she hopes to commence in September 2024, will enable her to make a meaningful impact in the educational sector, supporting passionate individuals who strive to enhance their communication systems, especially within schools. She takes pride in her achievements, including being recognized as an exceptional individual in customer service gold. Her dedication to understanding people extends to the children of Cobb's Cross Primary School, where she finds great fulfillment in bringing joy and creating memorable moments for them. Their laughter and curiosity lights up her life. She says, "My mission in both my personal and professional life is simple yet profound: to spread joy, foster understanding, and create unforgettable experience for those around me." She continues, "I dream of owning my own inn one day with the intention of donating 2% of my business profits to support parents with children on the autism spectrum. I envision opening the complexities of autism. With each step she takes, she's paving the way for a future that intertwines warmth, care, and acceptance, leaving a lasting legacy for generations to come." Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Carissa Henry. Miss Okima Andrews, a proud mother of one hailing from the village of Freetown. She's the third of 5 sisters and a big lover of family. Okima attended the Freetown Primary School and then moved on to Pace Secondary School. She then went to the hotel training school before she started in the workforce. She worked in the hospitality industry for a few years before working at the Ministry of Education. Working closely with the late Dr. Austin Josiah then, he saw her potential and recruited her to the HR department of the Stanford Group of Companies for years until the company's demise. She was then offered a position at the Antigua Commercial Bank, where she still holds the position of customer service rep to this date. Miss Andrew has one daughter, Keandra Mossington, a second form student at Glanville Secondary School. Okima is a firm believer of when parents are involved in their child's educational life, the child does well. With this, she has always been that parent who is always showing a particular interest in her child's educational life. She's always ready and willing to participate and assist the school's activities and any form of school building project, especially if her child is involved. Ms. Andrews, currently the go-to person for the principal and deputy, and she's always trying to source funds and resources for the school's development and upliftment. She was one of the main persons in starting and outfitting the school's breakfast program. As chairmom, she's also very involved in the cheerleading team's activities and fundraisers, as she wants to see them be the best and succeed in all their endeavors. As a go-to person for the principal, deputy, and many teachers at the Glanville Secondary School, we are proud and very honored to present Miss Okima Andrew as our Parent of the Year.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas, for presenting the awards to the awardees, and congratulations to Mrs. Asata Roberts, Mr. Lemuel Roberts, Miss Carissa Henry, and Miss Okima Andrew on your awards this evening. Before we finish the awards, we have a special award to be given this evening. But before I do so, I'm going to ask my committee members, I'm the chair, to join me on the platform. Miss Dinah Martin, our hard-working secretary. When I say hard-working, I don't know if she sleep at night, eh? So our hard-working secretary, Mrs. Lloyd, Mrs. Emerald Lake, we have our own in-house chef. Here she comes, and girl tap serve the juice and come, Miss Forbes. And our head, Mr. Thomas. Why I call my committee members here, we have a plaque with our greatest appreciation awarded to Mrs. Diana Edwards Martin, Secretary, in recognition of your ongoing dedicated work, commitment, and selfless contribution to the National PTA. Mr. Roberts, Nagishina hard time. Please, I beg. Mr. Thomas, please to make this presentation. Well deserved. And she has a gift basket back there as well, a food basket. No, you never bring it heavy. No strange she have. Go ahead, she eat one in there too.
There are times when you might feel aimless.
At this time, I'm gonna ask all the awardees to stand where you are seated. Just to stand. All the awardees, please stand. And the others, I'm gonna ask you to give them a resounding round of applause.
When you're near, you can almost hear it.
You have paved the way and gracefully left your footprints for the others to follow. You have paved the way and gracefully left your footprints for the others to follow. And I'm pretty sure they're gonna be some big shoes to fill. So I'm gonna ask you all to make your way on stage that we can have a photo op. And the photo will be taken with His Excellency Sir Rodney Williams. So you will be in the midst of royalty.
What we're all creating. It's like
plaques, please. Just the plaque. Just the plaque.
And there are melodies, each one of us. Oh, it's glorious, glorious, glorious. That you feel in those bills.
It's like a symphony. Just keep listening, and pretty soon you'll start to figure out your part.
Everyone plays a piece, and there are melodies, each one of us. Oh, it's glorious.
Oh, yeah. Asani. Oh, yeah. Baby girl, I love you so. I will never let you go. Never seen a girl like this before. I just wanna let you know, baby, that you were beautiful to me.
When you get back to your seat, remain standing so the young lady with the bags can bring so you can put back your awards in the
Never seen
boxes.
a girl like you before. I just wanna let you know, baby, yeah, that you were beautiful to me. See many men, them are toasting you.
You have watched her host this evening's proceedings. Now it's time for you to enjoy her melodious voice. Join me in welcoming our 2023 Miss Teenage Ajane Blow to give you a rendition.
I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. Everybody's searching for a hero. People need someone to look up to. I never found anyone who fulfilled my needs. A lonely place to be. And so I learned to depend on me. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadows. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I live as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity. Because the greatest love of all is happening to me. I found the greatest love of all inside of me. The greatest love of all is easy to achieve. Learning to love yourself, it is the greatest love of all. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadows. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I live as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity, because the greatest love of all is happening to me. I found the greatest love of all inside of me. The greatest love of all is easy to achieve. Learning to love yourself, it is the greatest love of all. And if by chance that special place that you've been dreaming of leads you to a lonely place, find your strength in love. Thank you.
You may be seated. I'm going to give you all a joke about her, right? So, I'm a karaoke junkie. So we go karaoke all the time. But then one afternoon, I'm coming home from choir practice, because I used to deal with the junior choir, and this little 2-year-old singing the song that I just teach some teenagers. And she's singing the song word for word. So I say, yeah, Wednesday night I'll go karaoke Big Banana. When karaoke, this 2-year-old dethroned everybody did the karaoke competition. Get one big t-shirt reached down here. News got to ABS, so ABS invited to Good Morning Antigua. 2-year-old guy in ABS. Mike, sing. When child done sing the song, nah, give up the people, Mike. Put down a ball in ABS, because she nah lego the mic. Up to now, we love Mike. After the vote of thanks, which is coming up next, we'll be serving dinner. The head table will be served at their seat, and then we're going to ask everybody to make their way to the buffet station. Gratitude is not the only greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. The more you practice the art of thankfulness, the more you have to be thankful for. At this time, I invite our hardworking and dedicated secretary of the National Parent Teachers Association, Mrs. Diane Martin, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening. Thank you very much, Mrs. Blair. His Excellency Sir Rodney Williams, Governor General of Antigua, Mr. Alistair Thomas, President and founding member of the National Parents Teachers Association, the executive and members of the National PTA, honorees and nominees of the inaugural NPTA Awards ceremony, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Also recognizing Cuban ambassador. Let me see if I can pronounce the name, probably. Sergio George Pastrana. And his wife, Senator Jonathan Joseph, and Mr. Casroy Charles, President of the Antigua and Barbuda Union of Teachers. Good evening again, everybody. Allow me to exhale. You hear them talking about all the work that I do, right? So allow me to exhale. First of all, we want to say thanks to everybody for being here. Give yourselves a round of applause. In life, we are given many opportunities to say thank you. And sometimes we do, and sometimes we do not. Sometimes the things we say thanks for are life experiences and not tangible things. In a case like today, or this evening rather, we're able to do both. The task is mine to say thank you to all in attendance here this evening and to all whose efforts made this event possible. Thank you for making the National Parent Teachers Association Award a reality by being here with us this evening. We thank God, the giver and taker of life, for allowing us to be here to experience this auspicious occasion and to receive something tangible, as in the case of our awardees. To Mrs. Aisha Macmillan Lloyd. See, I work so hard, they even come to me for the pens. Mrs. Lloyd for the prayer, one of our members in the association. Thank you very much. The national anthem and the special item by Mr. Amani Gomes. Thank you very much, sir. Our hosts. Yes, I have a lot of bosses in the room, so one of my bosses reminded me. I didn't get there yet, sir, but if I forget again, do remember. Mrs. Lake Blur and her daughter Ajane for doing a good job with hosting this evening. To our president, Mr. Alistair Thomas, for his remarks to welcome all of us here this evening. To the Governor General, I wrote down something about your remarks, sir, so please allow me. It was nice to hear your remarks because you, being a past Minister of Education, you were able to go back there and it fits into what we're having here. Because, you know, the Parent Teachers Association comes from education, the school system, and so on. So I enjoyed your remarks. I believe we all did. The other piece of entertainment from Mr. Laku Samuel and Gavin Christopher. That's the one, right, sir? Yes. And for Mrs. Lloyd and her daughter, Queen Chelsea Agard, for assisting with presenting the awards. The Parents Award, Mr. Thomas again. The Students Award and the Teachers Award, Mr. Cassoy Charles for presenting to our students. And our Governor General, His Excellency, for presenting to our teachers. Thank you very much. And to Ajane for that beautiful piece a while ago, the serenade and all that good stuff. Thank you very much. Am I forgetting anything before I go on to the sponsors, sir? Okay. So, to the Community First Cooperative Credit Union, SignPro, management and staff of Julie's Restaurant, our platinum sponsors, we say thank you very much. Well, I'm so busy that I'm actually here and my phone is ringing. No, I know I can't answer. I'm just pressing the button. To Idea Media and Mr. Winston Henry for our tickets. Wadadley Events, Velvet Touch, Anjo Wholesale, Sun City, Wellness Footprints ANU, Elegant Events, North Coast Hardware, Crab Hole Liquors, Townhouse Mega Store, People's Cooperative Credit Union. Again, Mr. Alistair Thomas, Mr. Joseph Martin, Senator Alex Brown, Mr. Jason Broody, Mr. Gary David, Honorable Anthony Smith Jr., Mr. Derek Nicholas, Mr. Marvin Joseph, Mrs. Charlene Isola Hughes, Miss J. Valerie Hodge. It's kind of weird to call your own name, but hey, Mrs. Diana Edwards Martin, Mrs. Alphonsine Lake Blur, Mr. Winston Henry, Mrs. Emerald Lake, Mrs. Aisha Macmillan Lloyd, Mrs. Sanisha Forbes, principals of schools across Antigua and Barbuda, We say thank you because for those who don't know, we sent forms out to all the schools, even Barbuda. The forms were taken over there. They contacted me and said they received them, and then we were supposed to organize somebody to pick them up. So, Mr. Thomas, I'm putting you on the spot. Next year, we're going over to get the forms. The whole committee going over to collect the forms. 3 farms, but the whole committee gonna go. What you say, guys? Yes, yes. Miss Linnell Charles, Miss Crystal Hopkins, Miss Lenicia Martin for the slides. Our judging panel. For us to get here, we had a 7-member judging panel. One of those persons is here with us this evening, Miss Jocelyn Henry. She sat on the panel as our retired educator. Did I mention the fact that our director, Mr. Claire Brown and Mr. Cassoy Charles, they gave us their blessings too when we started out this program. Mr. Denmore Roberts, my principal. I hope I'm not late to school tomorrow. Mr. Roberts, you know, if I'm late, you know where I was. Thanks for your assistance and for doing the voice for our awardees, the voice notes. Deputy Principal, Mrs. Blucher Watson. And when we say that the whole team works together, because we have our meetings at T.N. Kernan Primary School, and because I work there, Friday I was on my way to work, and the deputy called and she said, Miss Martin, how far are you? There's somebody here to buy some tickets. I said, okay, tell them to spin around and come back. So that's why I have to thank everybody. The deputy, she was the one that made the call. So Mrs. Watson, thank you very much. Observer Newsco, ZDK Liberty Radio for some promotion. And you saw our planning committee come to the stage, but I'm going to call them out again, meaning their names. Our co-host, Mrs. Alphonsine Lake Blur, she was the chair of the committee. Mrs. Emerald Lake, Mrs. Aisha Macmillan Lloyd, Mrs. Sanisha Forbes, myself, and our visionary president, Mr. Alistair Thomas. To our awardees this evening, thank you and congratulations again. Did I forget anybody? Good night, Mr. Watson. No ice and sugar this evening. Yeah, I called Julie's, it's right here. But again, to the management and staff of Julie's Restaurant, we say thank you for hosting us. We had to come, some of us had to come here even before now, last night, this morning and all that, and he's been very gracious to us. I think that's it. Anything else? Listen out for us on the radio to do some more promotion and big it up. Good night. Oh, and thanks for the plaque. Thanks for the plaque. They kind of stopped me there, so.
Remember, I want out the basket.
No problem.
Okay.
Oftentimes, the person delivering the vote of thanks is never shown our gratitude. So, on behalf of myself and my co-host, we say, thank you, Miss Martin. We're going to ask everyone to please stand to facilitate the exit of our Governor General of Antigua and Barbuda, His Excellency, Sir Rodney Williams. Thank you for coming. It was a delight having you.